All right, today we're going to the most remote, most forbidding, and honestly, the least explored place on the entire planet, Antarctica. We're talking about a continent that's twice the size of Australia and holds 90% of all the world's ice. It's a land of incredible silence, but it is far from empty.
For centuries, it was just this giant blank space on the map, a place best described as the coldest, most isolated on Earth, and, the least understood. But deep beneath all that ice, clues are starting to surface that could completely rewrite everything we think we know about our planet's history. So that's the big question, right? From these bizarre structures you can see from space to a history that feels like it's been intentionally buried, we're going to peel back the layers of ice and secrecy to see what we can find out.
Okay, so let's start with what we can actually see, or at least what satellites can see for us. Because from way up high, Antarctica is revealing some shapes that look almost too perfect to be natural.
This is the one that really got everyone talking. A massive, four-sided peak that looks a whole lot like the pyramids of Giza. It's sharp, it's symmetrical, and it's just there, sticking right out of the ice.
So you gotta ask, what are we really looking at here? Is this the remnant of some long-lost civilization? Or is there a more, shall we say, down-to-earth explanation?
Basically, there are two competing ideas. On one side, you have the theory that it's an ancient man-made pyramid. But on the other, geologists have a natural explanation. They say it's a nunatak, which is just a mountain peak that's been sculpted by millions of years of wind and ice, kind of like the Matterhorn in the Alps.
And get this, it's not just the pyramid. Satellite images have turned up other weird stuff. Things that look like enormous rectangular doorways cut right into cliffs, and these step-like formations that look just like a grand staircase leading up into the mountains. Again, are we looking at natural erosion? Or something else?
As fascinating as all these surface features are, they're really just the tip of the iceberg. No pun intended. The real secrets, the big ones, lie much, much deeper. They're under the ice.
Because beneath miles of solid ice, scientists are discovering a world that was literally frozen in time, a world that was once absolutely teeming with life.
It's really hard to imagine, but Antarctica used to be green. I mean, scientists have found fossilized forests with trees over 20 feet tall, ancient pollen, and even solid evidence of rainforests. This wasn't a frozen wasteland. It was a temperate continent with temperatures we'd find pretty comfortable today.
And trapped underneath all that, there's another ancient world, one that's been sealed off for a mind-boggling 15 million years. This is Lake Vostok, just one of over 400 subglacial lakes buried under 4 kilometers of solid ice, an entire ecosystem completely untouched by the rest of the world.
And when they finally drilled down into it, what did they find? Life. In total darkness, with no sunlight, and under immense pressure, they found these thriving colonies of microbes. But even crazier, on a boulder on the seafloor, they found stationary animals like sponges, just surviving in conditions that we once thought were completely impossible for life.
Okay, so discovering life is one thing, but what about human life? The story of Antarctica is also packed with these intriguing maps, really mysterious expeditions, and a history that feels almost deliberately hidden.
When you look at the timeline of human interest, it's just wild. It all starts with this Piri Reis map back in 1513, which some people claim actually shows Antarctica's coastline without any ice. Then you fast forward to 1938, and Nazi Germany is sending secret expeditions. Then, right after the war, the US launches this huge military operation, and it all ends with a treaty that basically makes the entire continent off-limits. And the scale of that mission, Operation High Jump, is just staggering. We're talking 4,700 military personnel, 13 ships, dozens of aircraft. The official story was it was for training and mapping. But really, what kind of training requires that level of force in the most desolate place on Earth? Were they sent to investigate something, or maybe someone?
And this leads us to one of the most famous legends. There's this supposed secret diary from the expedition's leader, Admiral Byrd, and it claims he flew into a hidden green valley and discovered an entrance to an inner Earth civilization called Agartha. Now, to be clear, this document has never been authenticated, but the story just won't go away, and it fuels Hollow Earth theories to this day.
So you take all of these events, the strange maps, the Nazi interests, the massive US military presence,
And it all leads to the biggest theory of all, that something huge was discovered and the world's most powerful nations all agreed to hide it. At the very center of this whole idea is one key document, the Antarctic Treaty of 1959. Now, on the surface, it looks like this beautiful piece of diplomacy. It dedicates an entire continent to peace and science, and it bans all military activity. Sounds great, right? But here is the question that really drives the conspiracy. At the absolute height of the Cold War, why would the United States and the Soviet Union, mortal enemies on literally every other front, suddenly agree to cooperate to lock down an entire continent? What could possibly be so important that they both agree to just keep their hands off?
Well, the theories are pretty wild. Some believe they found the ruins of a lost city, maybe Atlantis. Others suggest it was crashed alien technology. Or maybe it was that entrance to Agartha that Admiral Byrd supposedly found. Whatever it is, people who believe this theory think the treaty isn't about preservation, it's about secrecy.
But what if the greatest secret that Antarctica holds isn't about lost civilizations or secret bases at all? What if the truth is something far more immediate and, frankly, far more terrifying?
You see, the ice is a time capsule. It preserves 1 million years of Earth's climate history perfectly. And what it's showing us isn't actually about our distant past, but a really stark warning about where we are all headed. And the urgency here is undeniable. The Antarctic Peninsula is warming nearly 4 times faster than the global average. As these massive glaciers collapse and the ice sheets melt, the continent is no longer just a record of the past. It's becoming a preview of our future, a future of rising sea levels and pretty dramatic climate shifts.
So we're left with this one last huge question. As this great thought continues, what secrets are finally going to be exposed? Are we going to find the ruins of a forgotten world buried deep beneath the ice? Or are we just going to see a reflection of the world that we are creating right now? The answer, for now, is still locked away, just waiting to be revealed.